Welcome to Women Shifting Legacies. When another diet, budget, or organizational system isn't making a difference, when self-help books and productivity apps aren't enough, when nothing else you're trying seems to stick, well, stop treating the symptoms and start healing the foundation. Welcome to Women Shifting Legacies. Hey there, Legacy Shifter. Welcome to Shifting Legacies, where we dive into the conversations that most people shy away from. I'm your host, Patricia Kennedy, and I help women like you heal generational patterns and create new legacies of abundance, connection, and wholeness. You know those family patterns you swore you'd never repeat? Those money stories that keep showing up no matter how hard you try to change them? That's exactly what we're here to talk about. No sugarcoating, no holding back, just real conversations about what it really takes to shift generations of programming. So whether you're here for the first time or you're a regular listener, thank you for being part of this journey. Because here's what I know for sure. When one woman heals, generations around her are transformed. In today's episode, you've hit your revenue goals before. You know you're capable of saving money. So why does your income keep sliding back down no matter how many business strategies you try? Well, there are 5 key patterns. So let's dive into the first one. So let's talk about this pattern that's probably feeling frustratingly familiar right now. You set a revenue goal. Maybe it's your first 10K month, or breaking 6 figures, or finally hitting that big milestone, whatever that might be for you. And here's one thing. You've actually reached it before. You know you can do it, but then something strange happens. Just when everything is going well, when you're finally gaining momentum, things start to slip. And maybe you stop following up with potential clients, or you suddenly feel compelled to completely overhaul your business model. Or you find yourself procrastinating on sending those invoices. And before you know it, you're back at your usual income level wondering what went wrong. If you're nodding right now, you're not alone. I see this pattern play out over and over with brilliant, capable women. And it shows up in 3 main ways. First, there's the feast or famine cycle. You hustle hard, you reach your goal, then mysteriously take your foot off the gas. Your income drops, panic sets in, and you restart the cycle. Then there's what I call crisis superpower. Have you ever noticed that you can move mountains and make incredible money when there's an emergency, but maintaining that level of success during normal times feels impossible? And finally, there's the exhausting pattern of working harder but earning less. So you're doing all of the things, maybe even more than when you were making more money, but your income keeps shrinking. And here's what makes this pattern so frustrating. Conventional business advice tells us, oh, it's about strategy. You just need to work harder, plan better, follow this blueprint or that one. And sure, strategy does matter. But here's what nobody's talking about. If it were really about strategy, dozens of the approaches you've taken, one of them would have worked. One of them would have stuck by now. But the truth is, there's something deeper going on. And until we understand what that is, no amount of business planning or marketing tactics are going to create lasting change. So, this brings us to pattern 2, and it's what I call the hidden safety threshold. And this is where things get really interesting. Let's talk about something that might sound strange at first, the idea that your nervous system might actually be treating success as a threat. But stay with me here. because this is where everything else starts to make sense. Think about your relationship with money growing up. Maybe money meant conflict. Maybe having too much led to uncomfortable attention. And maybe watching others with money taught you it wasn't safe to have it. Or maybe the unpredictability of feast and famine taught your nervous system that only scarcity is predictable and therefore safe. So you want to stay scarce. This creates what I call your safety threshold, the amount of success your nervous system has decided is safe for you to have. And here's where it gets interesting. When you push past that threshold, your body literally starts sending danger signals. Your nervous system doesn't care that this is good stress. It doesn't distinguish between I'm making more money than ever and I'm in danger. It just knows you're in unfamiliar territory. And this is why just push through it advice so often backfires. When your body is in survival mode, it is going to do whatever it takes to get back to what feels safe, even if that means sabotaging your success. Let me give you an example. Let's say your safety threshold is about $5,000 a month. You might be able to push to $8,000 or even $10,000 through sheer force or will. But if you haven't addressed that internal threshold, your nervous system will find ways to bring you back down. This isn't about lack of discipline or commitment. You can have that all day long. Your body is literally doing exactly what it's designed to do, keep you safe. And this is why understanding your personal upper limit is so crucial. It's not about pushing past it harder. It's about gradually expanding what feels safe, working with your nervous system instead of against it. Think of it like this. If you've spent years living in a small apartment and you suddenly move into a mansion, you wouldn't feel safe no matter how much you wanted it. You need time to adjust, to make the new space feel like home. The same is true with success and income. Your nervous system needs time to adjust, to learn that this new level of success is actually safe for you. Okay, well, that brings us to what I call the success paradox, why recognition and achievement can sometimes feel more threatening than validating. Have you ever achieved something amazing? Maybe landed your biggest client, gotten incredible feedback, or hit a major milestone, and instead of feeling elated, you felt anxious, uncomfortable, maybe even a little panicky. Welcome to what I call the success paradox. It's that confusing moment when you finally get what you've been working so hard to get. But instead of feeling like you're on top of the world, you feel exposed, vulnerable, like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. So let's break this down because it shows up in some really specific ways. First, there's the recognition piece. Someone praises your work, and instead of feeling proud, you feel this overwhelming urge to deflect, minimize, or even hide. It's like spotlight anxiety, but it's not about public speaking. It's about being seen in your success. Then there's what I call the finally made it flutter. You hit your goal, but instead of celebration, you feel this flutter of panic and your brain starts spinning stories. Now, I have to maintain this, you say. What if I can't do this again? What if everyone realizes I just got lucky? And here's the most puzzling one, the unconscious pull back to familiar territory. You might find yourself making unusual decisions, taking unnecessary risks, or picking fights with supportive people. It's like part of you is deliberately trying to return to the familiar comfort of struggle. Now, most business coaches will tell you that this is just imposter syndrome. Push through it, fake it till you make it. But here's what's really happening. Success isn't just changing your bank account, it's changing your entire identity. And identity changes, they trigger our most primitive survival instincts. Think about it. When you step into a new level of success, everything changes. How people see you, how they treat you, the expectations that they have, even your relationships might feel different. And if your early experiences taught you that being successful meant losing connection, being rejected, or taking on overwhelming responsibility, well, your nervous system is going to treat success like a threat. This isn't your imagination, and it's not a character flaw. It's your body trying to protect you from what it perceives as danger, based on old information that is not relevant anymore in most cases. And this is why we need to go beyond surface solutions, because another strategy or mindset hack isn't going to address what's really happening here. Which brings me to key point 4, beyond surface solutions. At this point, you're probably thinking, okay, but what am I supposed to do about this? And I get it. We love solutions, we love action steps, a plan, a blueprint. But here's what I need you to understand. If one more marketing strategy or sales funnel was going to fix this, it would have worked by now. Let's talk about what's really going on with your relationship with abundance. And I use that word intentionally because this is a relationship. Just like any other relationship in your life, your relationship with money and success has its own patterns, triggers, and unspoken agreements. Think about it. We don't usually solve relationship issues with spreadsheets and strategies, yet that's exactly what we try to do with money. Here's where it gets interesting. There's often a massive gap between your intellectual readiness for success and your emotional readiness. Your brain might be completely on board with making more money. You know, we all think this intellectually. You've done the vision boards, you've set the goals, you've created the plans, but your emotional system, well, that's telling a completely different story. And this is why you can intellectually know you deserve success while emotionally feeling deeply uncomfortable with it. You can logically understand you're more capable of more while unconsciously clinging to familiar limitations. And here's the most counterintuitive part. Sometimes not having enough actually feels safer than having plenty. I know that sounds bizarre, but think about it. When you're struggling, you know the rules. You know who you are in that story. You know what to expect. It might not be comfortable, but it's familiar. Plenty, abundance, hey, that's unknown territory. And our nervous systems tend to prefer familiar discomfort over unfamiliar discomfort. That's why so many brilliant women find themselves mysteriously sabotaging their success just when things start to go well. It's not because they don't want success, it's because their nervous system hasn't learned how to feel safe with it yet. The real work isn't about pushing harder or learning one more strategy. It's about understanding and gradually reshaping your relationship with success itself. So, let's talk about how to actually create sustainable success, the kind that doesn't trigger your internal alarm systems. All right, we're at key point 5. Creating sustainable success. So let's talk about what actually works, how to create success that feels sustainable rather than scary. And I promise you, this looks different than what you might expect. The key is building internal safety alongside external success. So think of it like building a house. You need the foundation to be as strong as the structure above it. Most of us have been trying to build penthouses on shaky foundations, and then we're wondering why things keep crumbling. So here's what this looks like in practice. First, let's talk about expanding your comfort zone with wealth. Notice I said expanding, not pushing, not breaking through. This isn't about forcing yourself to handle more than you're actually ready for. It's about gradually stretching your comfort zone to what feels safe. So start by noticing your current safety ceiling. Maybe you realize that you start feeling antsy when your bank account goes above a certain amount. Or you notice yourself procrastinating on sending invoices when your monthly income approaches a specific number. That's valuable information, and it's showing you where your nervous system currently draws the line. Now, instead of trying to double your income overnight, work on expanding that comfort zone by just 10 to 15% at a time. Let your system adjust. Let it learn that this new level is safe. Then expand again. So let's talk about resistance. Here's what most people get wrong about resistance. They treat it like it's the enemy, but resistance is actually giving you valuable information. When you feel that pull to self-sabotage, that's your cue to get curious, not critical. Ask yourself, what feels threatening about this success? What would having more mean about who I am? What would it change in my relationships? Your resistance is trying to protect you from something, so find out what that is. Here is the practical part. Create success containers that feel safe. So this might mean setting up automatic transfers so money moves to savings before you can react to it. Creating clear boundaries around work hours so success doesn't mean burnout. Building support systems that can handle your growth. Developing new money habits that feel sustainable, not scary. The goal isn't to push past your comfort zone, it's to gradually expand while maintaining a sense of safety and control. So remember, sustainable success isn't about forcing yourself to handle more, it's about creating an internal environment where success feels safe, natural, and deserved. So here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Your income ceiling isn't a character flaw or a lack of strategy. It's a safety mechanism. And when you work with it instead of against it, when you focus on creating internal safety alongside external success, everything starts to shift. Your nervous system begins to trust that success is safe, that abundance is allowed, that you can handle more without losing yourself. And that, my friends, is when lasting change becomes possible. If what I've shared today resonates with you, if you're ready to not just understand these patterns, but actually transform them, I want to invite you to join something special. It's called Women Shifting Legacies, and it's more than just a membership. It's the handbook we never got when we graduated from school. You know the one I'm talking about. The guide that was supposed to tell us how to navigate all of this stuff. Here's what makes this different. You're not doing this alone. You're joining a community of women who are on the exact same journey. Women who get it, who understand what it means to want more, not just for themselves, but for their families, for their legacies. Inside the membership, you'll get training modules you can work through at your own pace, live bi-weekly group sessions with me where you can ask questions and get direct support. A safe space to explore everything from healing yourself to navigating relationships with your adult children, and real talk about family struggles. And yes, we dive deep into trauma work. It's a community of women that you get who are committed to shifting their family legacies. And here's the thing. Right now, you can join for just $48 a month. That's less than the cost of a weekly coffee run. But I want to be upfront. As our community grows, and it's growing fast, this price will double. So if you're ready to create real change, the kind that ripples through generations, if you are ready to shift your family legacy and make a difference in the world, this is your place. Don't wait until the price doubles. Invest in yourself. Click the link in the show notes and join us inside Women Shifting Legacies, your future self and your family's future generations will thank you for taking this step today. Remember, your healing changes the world. You're not just doing this for you, you're doing it for everyone in your life. Keep shining, keep healing, and I'll meet you right here next time. I'm Patricia Kennedy, and this is Women Shifting Legacies.